Batoning with a folder. Probably not the best idea, because a folder, most of them, will have a locking mechanism. Now, in my experience, the one that will take damage the easiest is the liner lock. You will probably bend that liner within a few hits. So, no matter what kind of locking mechanism your folder has, release it. Be careful, mind your fingers. I have tightened the pivot so that the blade does not swing freely when it is not locked. And I'm just going to be very careful. I could still damage the pivot, however, that is improbable. Not impossible, but improbable. It is a thick pivot screw. So let's just hope for the best, be very careful, and get through this piece of wood. I'm doing this very careful because I do not have a glove, and this blade is really sharp, so I would hate for the blade to go through the piece of wood and catch my finger. So if you want to do this, be very careful, or just hold your fingers out of the way. That's a bit hard since you do have to pull the handle. Now, this wasn't the hardest piece of wood to split. As you see, you can split it, and pulling this off without injuring yourself does take a bit of precaution. For the sake of it, I will show you that you can split a piece of wood. I'm just going to split this half piece of wood with a folder while it's locked without damaging it. It'll take a few hits, but I wouldn't want to go do this all day long. So, it's much easier to control, goes much faster, and there's not so much risk in injuring yourself. As for the locking mechanism, it still works. Like I said, I have tightened the pivot screw so when I unlock it, it does not fall freely. I have to push the blade back in. But it works. Now, if you want to be really smart about it, here's one thing you can do. If you have to split a piece of wood, just make yourself a wedge. And arguably, if you don't have an axe or some kind of big knife, this would be the best way to split a piece of wood. Make yourself a wedge. I'm hoping that this wood is hard enough and tough enough to go inside the other piece of wood and split it. This is also a good way to free your knife once it's stuck in a piece of wood. This can be used as a wedge. Now, how do you get this in to this piece of wood? Well, to be honest, I would start the cut with a knife, start the split with a knife, and then baton the wedge afterwards in it. Well, let's see how we can do with that. Well, I'm I'm gonna have to move you a bit away so you can actually see everything going down. Go right through the middle. So now I did start to cut. Can easily pull out the knife and insert the wedge. For that, I think I'll need to sharpen it a bit more. And like I said, this is a lot of work for something that you could do with a fixed blade, but I keep getting the same question. How do I split a piece of wood if I only have my folder? Is it safe? Isn't it safe? And some people say, well, you should never baton your folder. Clearly, I disagree. Now this fits inside here, as you can see. And it's very fragile at the tip, so I'm gonna have to be very careful. You can't see the split. And there you go. Reset and repeat. That's all you have to do. So, I hope you liked the video. This was also a small test of this knife, which in the last week I really started to like. I liked it before, but started to like it even more since I modified the edge. Thanks for watching.